I'm Yana Levkovich, the head of customer success here in UXPressia. Let me tell you our plan for today. In this session, you will discover how AI and UXPressia can support you at every stage of your customer experience work, from the very first draft to acting on the insight. And everything will be live, so you will see exactly how it works inside the platform. Yulia, it's over to you.
Yep, thanks a lot, Yana. So I'm gonna share my screen real quick. And hello again. My name is Julia. Some of you might already know me. I'm a customer success manager at UXPressia. And it's true, today we are going to cover how AI and UXPressia can help you with your CX work. And before we dive into our first use case, I want to say that today we're going to work in this healthcare workspace in UXPressia. So all our future use cases, all our AI personas and maps are going to be around that topic. So with that, let's actually start. First thing that Yana shared in our today's plan is the ability to upload your map to UXPressia using AI. So imagine you and your team just had a workshop or maybe brainstorming session in another tool, for example, in Miro. At some point, you might want to present this journey draft that you've built all together, but the sticky note version might not be the best choice for the presentation. So at that point, you might want to transfer your work to UXPressia. And now you don't need to manually recreate those documents and spend a lot of hours for that. But you can simply import it using AI. So all you need to do is to upload your image right into the importing piece of UXPressia, and AI will analyze the whole journey created in another tool, not necessarily Miro, any other tool, and will recreate this editable version in UXPressia. What do you think? It sounds great. It will save you immense amount of time. Okay, so this is the first use case. Let's move to the next one, and that would be when you have a lot of research and you need to start actually building those maps and personas. So when, for example, you are starting a project from scratch, you will end up spending hours figuring out what the right structure should be for the journey maps, how to turn all this raw research you have into actual maps and personas. So again, a lot of time need to be spent on it, but not anymore. UXPressia's AI can help you generate solid drafts of journey maps and personas in minutes. Let's take a look at the use case with personas. So again, right here on the dashboard of your workspace, you will find AI button, and we had to generate persona. So here, what do you need to add? You need to describe your persona, basically. So I actually already have the, let me find it. I already have the template, the prompt ready for that purpose. Let me share it with you. So I want to ask the AI to generate us persona who are going to be patients with chronic conditions. Again, we are talking about healthcare today a little bit. So patients with chronic conditions associated with bone or joint pain. They want a trustworthy medical provider. They want an accurate diagnosis, need ongoing treatment. Many of them have persistent discomfort that affects their daily life. And what they typically do, they research clinic online. So this is what we know about our persona, and we give it this description to AI. Next thing you can do is you can share the research data, raw research you have right here and feed this to AI as well. I already have some documents attached here. So we have transcripts of the interviews with actual clients. By the way, let me show you what it looks like. I will just quickly share my screen with you so that you just have an understanding of what do I mean by that. Let's see. So we have made several rounds of interviews and collected the transcripts of interviews with real clients. We have it with Elena, with Raymond, and with Amira. Okay, so we will use this information in our persona generation. Let's get back to our document. And also I've attached the digital interaction survey, because we know that our personas are going to look for the options online. So this also would work. Next, language for generation, we will keep English, and we can even ask to generate photo for our persona. Before I hit generate, I want to say that, of course, at some point at the very beginning, you might not have enough data, actual research for analysis. And in this case, it's okay to start building your persona on the description only. However, we advise you to ensure you update your personas as soon as you get those research data, because this will impact the accuracy of your persona, right? And their goals, their actual needs. So this is quite an important note. And again, another thing I want to say is that if AI, while analyzing all this data, identifies several personas in this description, in the data, with different needs, different goals, it will create several personas for you. So let's see what AI will do for us in this case. Let's hit this button. It will take some time. Okay, while you were silent, our persona actually generated. As you can see, it's really quick. Let's take a look then. So we see the persona. We see her goals. We see even the quote, description of the background, along with expectations, frustrations, and motivations. So it actually looks like a real person's profile, doesn't it? So yeah, also what is a cool thing in here is that in case you are not very satisfied with the image that AI generated for you, you can easily replace that. Again, using AI, simply provide your prompt, the description of the photo right here, and AI will do it for you. Now, I think it's time to build a customer journey map for this persona. Let's do that. And what's even better, you will be able to pull this persona that we've generated based on real research to map generation as well. Let me show you how. So I'm heading again to this magic AI button on the top menu of UXPressia, and we are heading to generate map using AI. Again, the principle here is pretty much the same. We need to add the purpose. I also have it ready. Let me quickly add this right here. So we want to the map that describes the experience of a middle-aged woman who visits new clinic for a joint examination. Next, personas involved. And this is exactly where we are going to pull our newly generated persona, Linda. Again, I'm referring to this one. We will choose it right from the list. And all the content from this persona will be pulled to map generation, which is cool. Next is journey description. I have it prepared as well. Let me add my prompt right here. And I will quickly provide you with the context. What is this journey going to be about? So our persona, as soon as she moves to a new city, starts to search online for trusted medical centers because she has mobility issues. She compares reviews, clinic websites, then few names catch her attention, and she decides to book a consultation online after reviewing the stories and checking about her insurance. Then before the visit, she fills the form, she checks the route via Google Maps. At the clinic, she evaluates the staff's friendliness, waiting time, the diagnosis explanation, and right after her appointment, she receives follow-up with test results. She shares her feedback and decides whether she would like to continue with this clinic or if she'd like to explore some other options. Okay, so this is what we know about our persona journey. Also, similar services. I would add these few similar services to AI just to give it even more context. Language for generation, let's keep English, and data for analysis. Again, here is the place where you can attach the real research you have. We already have these two interview transcripts, digital interaction in healthcare. We can use them as well, but I would like to add one more document, and that is going to be patients' feedback. Let me quickly share it with you so that also you see what I mean. So we have collected quotes of our customers for a specific time period from March to August. So it looks like this. And I'm going to use this in my generation as well. Let's get back to our map. And okay, patient's feedback goes right here. Okay, so next, you can either enable or disable the option to allow AI to add some details. So if you want to add some missing details in your customer journey that it could not extract from the existing data you've provided, you can. I would like to disable this and would like AI to base the whole journey map only on the existing information I have just provided. Let's click generate. And while we are waiting, I would like to show you another cool thing that it's now possible to do with AI, and that is turning the documents, the maps, into a vivid visual story using the storyboard. So storyboards, why do we need them? Storyboards help us to visualize what is happening with our customers at the specific stage of their journey, right? And that is a powerful tool. It drives empathy. It helps to read the map and make the whole thing live and build empathy, basically. But finding those images might be really difficult. It might require scrolling through the whole internet, through the stock photos, finding the needed picture that reflects the specific settings of the certain stage. So, or maybe some teams, I know they ask design team for help. So it may take ages. But not anymore. We've added the ability to generate images based on your map content right inside the journey builder. Let me show you. So in this map example, we have already created several storyboards for several personas using AI. And as you can see, those storyboards look consistent. So they're all in consistent style. They have the personas in the center of the image, and they help you to tell the story, right? And their presentation ready, also a big plus. So let me show you how you can add those and generate those images for your customer journey. That's actually really simple. For that, I will add another persona here. This is going to be prescriber, and we'll generate image for this persona. So I'm heading to add image, generate with AI, and we have two options here. You can either describe your request manually if you want to add some bits of your creativity to the description, or if you want very specific image, or if you want, for example, to customize this image with your company name, for instance. You can provide the manual prompt, or you can use the text from your journey map if your map is descriptive enough. That would be even faster because you will just pull the info from the specific section of the map. I will use manual prompt. This map is not very detailed, so I'm gonna add the prompt we've prepared in advance, and let me share it with you as well. So our persona prescriber, well, what I want AI to generate, what image? The prescriber is reviewing medical scans in a well-lit consultation room. Focused and thoughtful, he's making notes. The setting includes clinical equipment, computer monitor with charts, soft daylight through a window. Awesome. So in this prompt, as you might see, I'm focusing not on the prescribers, not only on our persona's appearance, but also on the settings around. So because it also adds up to this empathy bit I've talked about earlier. So as detailed, the more detailed your prompt is, the better result would be. Okay, so also we're going to use our persona prescriber as a main character here. So a prescriber style, you can choose either realistic, art, illustration, digital. Also, if needed, you can apply your corporate colors to this image. And if needed, you can write what would you like to exclude from the image. So negative prompt. I will skip this to last options. Let's go with this. Apply, and let's wait. And as you see, AI actually created several options for me to choose from. I'm going to go with this male one because our prescriber is apparently a male persona, but well, you have several options to choose, which is also nice. Yeah. As you can see now, we have our image generated. Awesome, isn't it? Now let's get back to our map. And let's see what has been generated. Okay, so let's see. The journey map for our persona Linda, proactive pain manager. And as you can see, AI uncovered the stages based on my description and additional files, experience with, let's a little bit, yeah, just like that. Experience sections, the goals, the process and channels, problems and ideas. So the map ended up quite detailed. I see we even have charts at the bottom. Awesome, isn't it? So this is, now you see that it's not just a skeleton of the journey that AI can build for you, but it's a detailed map based on your research that you can take and work on it further, collaborate on it with your team. Okay, so now I would like to share with you some tips on how you can work with the map's content. So let me share it with you. Sometimes you might need to, you will need to work with the text inside the journey. You would like to improve some text. For example, you might want to check it for grammar, or maybe rephrase it, or maybe translate it into other languages. So now, our internal AI assistant, which works on several levels, can help you with that. So AI assistant on the cell level works with text in the specific cell. Let me show you. I'm highlighting the text. Head to AI assistant, and I can decide what do I want, with whether to expand, shorten, rephrase, make the text region specific, fix it for grammar. If you are in a rush, maybe you typed something all together, it would be really nice to fix all the spelling mistakes. A tone adjustment, add some examples, create customer quotes. So let's go to the ideas, highlight the text and ask AI to add some examples of the ideas with AI provided us with. So as you can see, AI added some of the ideas options. Ideas in ideas. So elaborate on the existing ideas with some more. Isn't it amazing? Now, let's also try to translate the text. Wait a second, I'm struggling with my touchpad. So let's see what we can do. Let's translate it. Okay, let it be French, français. Okay, well, maybe some of you guys can check. I'm not sure I can do that right now, but let's believe AI that it translated well. So now you can see how you can work with content of your map, but not only map. Actually, this section is applicable in the persona editor as well. You can do the same thing to the text content in personas. But that is not it. When I talked about AI assistant on several levels, I meant one of our recent updates that we have implemented just the previous week, and that is AI journey assistant. Sometimes you will need a quick answer about your journey map content, or you might need to update your customer journey real quick based on the new research findings, for example. Now you don't need to manually scroll the whole map and find where these updates should go. What you can do, you can simply open up this journey assistant, which looks like a chat within a customer journey, and gives you the ability to talk to it, to give it tasks, to ask something about your map's content, or ask to add new stages, for example, based on the specific context. Let's try out and see how to do that. So now I'm gonna ask AI to show me biggest pain points in this journey. We already have problems or pain points visualized, but I would like to make a summary of the biggest, most critical ones. Let's see what AI will reply for us in this case. Okay, well, quite detailed. As you can see, the most critical pain points cluster around 3 themes: trust and clarity gaps in the digital front door. Then we see broken promise between digital convenience and in-person reality on the preparation and visit stage. Communication and empathy shortfalls at clinical and post-visit stages. And we even have optional next steps to dive deeper into that. Okay, well, that sounds decent. Now, that is actually not it. You can ask AI not just something about your map's content, but also can ask it to offer, for example, some actionable steps further, as you can see here. Let's now ask it to create an action plan for us. So let's add this request, create an action plan based on this map. Simple and clear. Let's see what AI will do for us in this case. Okay, yeah, by the way, when I say that you can ask it and give it tasks, yes, you can ask, for example, please add me new section in the map describing specific part of the customer's experience. For example, if you want an executive summary, like short overall description of the whole journey with key points to use in your presentation to stakeholders, you can also do that. So it might take some time, obviously, because it scrolls through the whole map, the whole journey. Okay, wow. So it not just, in this case, as you might see, AI not just offered us like action plan in text that requires manual updates in the map from our side, but did all the work for us. It already offered all the changes, and as you can see, it replaced the changes, the actions needed to be made at every single stage of customer's journey. I will discard these changes for now because obviously it will need detailed review, but if you are ready to go with that, you can also keep the changes and basically take these next steps. So yeah, this is how you can work with AI and, well, use it as your companion right inside customer journey map. But that's not it. We've also added the powerful engine that works across the whole persona profile in the persona editor. I will quickly show you where you can find persona improver. You can also improve your personas right here in the AI button in persona editor, generate persona, improve persona. And it works the very same way. We will not dive into this use case deep today, but you can just choose what would you like to update, which sections, and provide your request here. So the very same way. The most exciting part for me is talking to personas, the ability to talk to your personas. So how can you do that? How can you achieve that? In UXPressia, you now can chat with your persona and they will reply you just like real people. Let me show you where you can find it. Right here in the AI, along with a persona generator and improver, you will find chat with persona. And it works very similar to the chat inside the Journey. However, here, persona would actually communicate with you. Of course, for this to truly work and to truly bring value for you, your persona should be based on real research data, because otherwise the replies of your persona would be really fun, but would not be accurate again. So I wanted to highlight this once again. But why you might need to talk to your personas, you might ask. Of course, besides the fact that it's really fun, and you will see it. By talking to personas, you will have the luxury of talking to your real customer representative right where you make decisions. For example, you have your meeting with the stakeholders and you need to verify, for example, you need to test some improvement that you would like to add to the product, or maybe you would like to ask persona's opinion on certain change. You can do that all right using the chat with personas. Let me show you. Enough talking, let's test. First thing first, what I need to do is to set up the scene. So to set the tone of voice with this person. I've never talked with this one before because obviously it's a new generated persona. So we can talk to this one. Tone of the voice, you can choose from the tone, friendly, confident. There are plenty of options here. I will go with friendly for now. Then you can also add data for analysis, and this will give AI even more context besides the information in the persona it already has. So let's choose this as well. And here you can choose whether you want to talk with persona via typing your questions or using voice. I would like to use voice. Let's see. Linda is typing.
Hi, Dan. Thanks for reaching out. What would you like to know about my experience or what I'm looking for in a medical provider? Happy to share whatever might help.
Okay. Wow, isn't it fascinating? By the way, Dan, it's me. I'm Julia from UXPressia, and Dan at the same time, my alter ego in UXPressia Workspace. So right here, you can continue asking your questions, and AI will use the data you have provided, the data in the persona, to reply to you. So now I'm going to ask our persona, Linda Carter, how does the typical day in life look for her? Describe your typical day in life.
Sure thing. Most mornings, I wake up pretty stiff. My joints are usually the worst right after I get out of bed. Takes me a bit to get moving, so I do some gentle stretches before I even think about getting ready for work. I used to love going for a walk in the mornings, but lately that's been tough. I work as an office manager, so
I guess you got the idea, so I will stop it here because otherwise we will need to dedicate a lot of time to listen to the whole story. But this is exactly how you can make this experience like a live experience chatting with your persona, but much cheaper and in real time immediately when you need that. Now, I would like to show you a few other use cases, how you can use this chat with personas. For example, I have the several ad messaging options that I would like to offer this persona. And basically check what would be her reaction on these ad options. So let me add the prompt that I have prepared for this. Okay, so these are two short ads about visiting a clinic. Which one feels more appealing to you and why? And several short ads, obviously. So now let's see what Linda thinks about these short ads. What is her opinion? See.
Definitely number one. I want to feel like the clinic actually cares about what I'm going through, not just rushing me in and out. The part about taking time to listen and explain things really stands out to me. I'd had too many experiences where I felt like just another number. So knowing they'll tailor treatment and give clear results is a big deal.
Okay, so as you can see, we've got the persona's opinion on that. I will turn auto replay for now, if you don't mind, because it might interrupt me further because I want to show you one more use case, and that is giving your persona, well, our persona, several images. You cannot just use the text while describing some options to your persona, but images as well, documents, and anything you have at your disposal. I would like to share the a few images about the wellness retreat. So for example, we're about to launch a wellness retreat and are testing a few logo designs. So let me attach several logo designs here. Just a second, just like that. And let's see. So which options of the logo designs would catch the eye of our persona first, and which ones would make her want to learn more? Let's see. Linda is typing. Okay. let's play.
The first one with the heart and leaves definitely catches my eye more. It just feels warmer and more inviting. You know, the colors are soothing, and the heart shape makes me think of care and overall well-being, not just physical health. The leaves give it a fresh, natural vibe, which fits what I'd expect from a wellness retreat.
Well, actually, on this point, I completely agree with Linda. I would choose the first one as well. But now you can see how you can talk and mimic the actual conversation with your clients right inside your expression. For now, I would like to give a mic to Yana, who will tell us a little bit more about AI and the ability to uncover insights in the whole workspace. Yana, mic is yours.
And I would like to talk with you about Workspace Insights, because this is where our AI gets really smart. So, Workspace Insights uses AI to help you find patterns across your maps, personas, documents, and more. Just ask a question and it will dig it up for you. It's important to mention that the questions should be CX related in order to get relevant and valuable responses. So don't ask it about the ultimate question of life and the universe and everything. How you find the Workspace Insights? They're here in the reports menu. Let's take a look at one of them that were already created. For example, information accessibility, this one. So what we have here, we have at the beginning the request and below the insight itself, followed with supporting evidence, with patterns and trends, implications and recommendations. And they will all followed by automatically created CX chunks if you choose one. So we will show it in the example later. Additionally, if you want to download this report from the platform, you will get a one-pager, which you can use as a supporting document for your management or for your colleagues to see the results of your progress, or, for example, lightweight reporting, insights, or even for budget approval. And as you can see in this one pager, all the links will be clickable and they will lead you to the maps and personas as well. So what I wanted to do, now let's create a new workspace inside. We click here on plus, and I'm curious to know what are the biggest pain points during the initial stage of the healthcare journeys. What information I will use? I will scroll down and you can select different scope of analysis. For example, you can use all tags or select only those that are necessary specifically for this report. Also, you can also decide which information it will use. You can either select everything, the maps and personas, touch points, metrics, chunks. But for this report specifically, I want to use a workspace and maps. I want it to be more specific. And if you have any additional documents, you can also attach them here. For example, you just came up with a new research, and which your colleagues haven't attached them yet, you can always add them here. Well, here I already have the documents, insurance, first-time communication, so I will also add it to the point. And what I also want, I want to generate the chunks. So I will get the insights later with the, so I will also get a part of the insights. I will also get the observation, tasks, ideas, and more. And we all set. Now let's make AI to do its magic. And as you can see, it will take some time for AI to generate the insight, but we can see the progress right here. And moreover, we don't even need for it to finish it. We already can read and see what it's given to us. Wow, this time this was very fast. Now let's see what we have. We have detail patterns. We have pain points, and moreover, we have chunks. We have problems, observations that were generated automatically, and we have ideas which we can easily assign to one of your colleagues. For example, I wanted Teresa do it, and if it was a task, for example, you can also set up the deadline here, and you save it, and your colleague will get the notification. And this is how we turn insights into action. And our presentation is over.